How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to have some fun. It's time to get into some animation. Time to get creative. Time to get that imagination all revved up. And it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Gerald Scarfe. If you're not familiar with him, check right over here. He is a great political cartoonist and also just a really inventive illustrator and concept designer as well. He did basically the idea man behind the Hercules, the Disney's Hercules movies, which are great and phenomenal. Very his art style is very reminiscent to me of oh great, now I'm gonna blank on it. Hirschfeld, thank you, with very pronounced line work throughout and always exaggerating that line of action and using caricature mixed with really bold lines. And I love that style as well. But I love this Hydra, really cool work for sure. And again, if you do check out more of his stuff, which I will link down below as well, a lot of his stuff is political, so just be aware for whatever your views are. That there might be some of that stuff, but I love his art style, and that's what I think. And I think it's all about using your gifts to express whatever it is that you need to express. And I think for that, he also did Pink Floyd The Wall. I forgot to mention that too. Another great movie. I love it when music and animation blend. I'm a big fan also of Gorillaz. If you've never checked them, they do 3D animation mixed with music as well. And I think anything kind of in like Daft Punk or let's say Hatsune Miku or any of that stuff, I love it, just whether you blend the wonderful world of animation with music as well. But anyways, I wanted to share a quote with you guys that I found of his as well. And I think that an artist is a bit like a computer. He receives information from the world around him and from his past and from his own experiences, and it all goes into the brain. And I think that's totally true. We've talked about this kind of off and on over the last couple of weeks if you've been following along or watching other videos about it's important to be aware of the things that you're putting into your mind throughout the day, and that's going to kind of shape your repertoire of what you have to pull from when you're working in your whatever medium it is that you're using. So if you look at a lot of let's just for the sake of this we'll stick with drawing. If you look at a lot of bad drawings, and I'm not trying to say if there's merit in some or not, but I mean, you can tell someone who maybe if you spend a lot of time studying unskilled artistry, then perhaps the stuff that you create is going to follow those lines. But if you continue to progress and look for and study the masters, then you have a higher level. And I think it's important too to look at a wide range of things as well, so you can continually push yourself and grow. But it's important, and that's why it's important to go out and live your life as well. You know, go out and have those experiences, go out and travel, go meet people, do all these different things, because it's all going to inform your work and make it more well-rounded and more unique than someone who just kind of copies a bunch of other stuff. But again, I thought that was an interesting way of putting it, of that, you know, we're just like a brain. You continue to throw all this stuff inside of there, and then when you're called upon to think of, let's say, lumberjack, do you think of a big, strong, hefty lumberjack with a big, giant axe and huge thighs and little tiny feet and a big hat and giant sideburns? Or do you think of a short, little, scrawny, gnome-like lumberjack with the toothpick kind of axe that has giant teeth and one eye and an eye patch? I mean, it's just all about whatever you can come up with, and the more you throw in there and the wider range you have for the gap of it, the more you can pull from and just to be able to speak to, or in whatever medium you're using, be able to use those imageries and those things that you've studied and experienced and throw them into your work. So anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation. This is the Hammerhead Shark. It's a free rig you can grab over on Creative Crash. It's another one of those fun rigs from oh shoot, I forget his name. He's a great YouTuber. I linked to him the other day. I think his name is Sean. Forgive me, but I will put a link to his channel as along with a link to this rig if you guys want to check that stuff out. Hold on, I'm going to pause the broadcast. It's one of the Fused Gore rigs is the name. I just wanted to make a quick shout out because they were very friendly, and just appreciate them putting out great quality content that's free for you guys to mess around with, and for me to share with you guys too. So that being said, if you're not familiar with what we do for these videos, we give ourselves 48 frames, 2 seconds of animation, and we'll go off when I find a new rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource that you guys can try out, and we kind of see what we come up with. A little bit of kind of over the shoulder, hang out with me while I animate, probably a little bit of instruction here and there. And the main goal of these videos is to make you guys feel like you're not alone in your journey as you guys are becoming creatives and developing your skills. And most of all, I hope that you guys get inspired to go off and create your own stuff. Whether it's because you learned something here, or you see this stuff and you're like, you know what, I've got a way that I could do that better, and then you go off and create that. And whichever it is, definitely share back down below too if you found something useful throughout these videos, or if you made something awesome so that I can give you some thumbs up and encouragement as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and get in here. And I was thinking for this one, I might do a little bit longer than 48 frames, and sharks were kind of on the brain today, so I figured that would be kind of fun. If you saw, there's that new Jaws 19 trailer that just came out, so I thought it would be a fun time to do that. So what I think we'll do is kind of off screen, find a camera angle like this, set that, and just kind of build that. I think we'll want to go down a little more, so it's do more of a close-up too. Let's see. Let's get that kind of low down Jaws shark angle. That might be too long. Let's even go 80 frames. We'll go real slow with this thing. Window, animation editors, graph editor. Let's look at our translate Z. We're just kind of laying out the rough aspects of the shot. Let's go ahead and see it. We could probably even go a little bit closer to it. Is that too fast or too slow? We could probably go a little bit faster. So I'll just kick up the amount that it moves there. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a new camera here. And then we'll revert back to that other camera. And this one we'll do our animation in, but I just kind of wanted to do more of a little bit more of a cinematic style camera here. Let's go ahead and bring that down. Skip it up. I want to keep it low to the ground here too. And let's go ahead and assign a new material to it. Let's put a Lambert on there. And go ahead and make that kind of a dark brown sea floorish color. And we'll also create another cube here, and scale that up, scale back, and again we'll assign a new material onto there. Let's do Lambert, and let's make this one kind of a muddy blue. Okay, and let's switch back to our first camera, and let's go ahead and look at that now. And let's grab this guy, and let's switch back to our other camera here. Let's scale it wider there, and we'll push that back. Maybe not as far. Let's see. So let's rotate them a little bit here. I'm just trying to lay out the scene a little bit better for this one. Feels pretty good. Let's just scale it out a little bit more. And we'll have to tweak that still a little bit more. Just wanted to cover that last little spot there. Okay, and let's tilt this down a little bit, over a little bit, so we get a nice angle there. We'll lift this up a little bit more. Let's see here. We'll scale that out a little bit more. Okay, and we'll bring that back down. And I'll translate that over a little bit more just to make this C4 seem a little more vast. Let's rotate it a little bit more. Maybe a little less. Do something like that. Bring that down a bit. Okay. And let's create a new perspective here. Zoom out there. Okay. And let's look at the animation that we're going to be doing here. Try to get it all in frame if we can. And again, we're going kind of slow with this one, so let's do a little bit of down, a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit up. Okay, and let's adjust that a little bit more. And probably even go on 15s on these instead of that slow. scale it back a little more and just do a little hint of that in there. Okay, starting to come together. I'm going to do a little bit of rotate Z here, and there. And again, once you kind of understand like a hip controller and how those work, and like the interaction between the hips and the chest, that's like a main understanding of how walks work or swims or any of that kind of stuff. You can get that. You can get a pretty basic amount of movement out of most things there. So that's why the hips and the interaction with the chest and the legs are most important things there. Then this one we got to worry about the fins a lot here. Okay, and let's go ahead and look back at our original perspective here. Okay, probably a little too much up and down, so get rid of that. I'll bring it back down a little more so let's see better. And probably a little too much side to side, so I'll bring that down. That's why it's good to be able to kind of have an understanding where your camera's going to be if you're using something different. So you can see how stuff plays to camera, but then animate kind of in 3D space. I'll go back and forth there. And I feel like the rotate Z's are either way over exaggerated at one point, because this side over here really feels like he's tilting. And again, we're going to add a lot of offset and stuff with the tail and the chest and everything, but we want to get the basic movement throughout here. Still even slow that down even more. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and take what we got here and let's give us some extra. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more frames per. So it'll be another 16 frames. So give us 96. And then we'll adjust everything. Two more frames, you should be able to feel it. It's a bit slower. 1 frame you usually don't feel, but 2 frames you should. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that now. Alright, that feels about the right speed there. Stuff like there's probably a little too much rotate Z in there, so let's go ahead and squish that down a little more. And probably too much translate X still too. I might kick it back up once everything, but at this point it feels like there's a little too much there. Okay, now let's go ahead and switch back to another perspective here. I am going to hide that layer because it's distracting for me right now. I feel like it works well for the shot cam, but I want to be able to really get in here. Okay, now let's go ahead and start with rotation on the head here. Curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons. And don't forget to save multiple versions and save often. And also, we are using Autodesk Maya 2014, phenomenal program. Do a little bit there, and a little bit here. Lower that a little bit. what I usually do, where I start off with a really strong pose. But the other one, I kind of wanted to start off with the idea, and get that working, and then get into the posing. And it's just kind of a give and take, however you want to do it here. Let's grab everything, sans that guy, and let's go ahead and set a key there. Okay, now let's go ahead and go here, and we'll do down 130, go up, and we'll do every 20 frames here, down, and this is way too much, but we can always amp it up and down there. Oh no, we're going 12 frames, should really pay attention, switching up the timing here, down 24, no, 36, and then we have 48, so we have 60, back down again, just want Y here, and we have 72, then we have 84, go back up, and then back down again, so it's got a little bit. Okay, and then we'll offset the rest of the chest by doing those at different times, so there's a little bit of kind of successive movement, I guess, that we have through there. So I'll go ahead and grab those two, and go to 24, and we'll bring that up, and 48, we'll bring it down, 72, we'll bring it back up, and we'll bring it back down, so we have a little bit of that. Okay, we need to do a little bit more in the middle section and a little less on the outer sections. But it's starting to feel like that little bit of breathing feeling in there. Okay. Let's go look at that again. Let's see here. We're going kind of at the same timing that middle section was here. And let's go 84, back down again, and then back up again. Kind of offset move where one will go on this 12 and the other one will go on the next 12, and then one will go on this 12 and the next 12. So switches over every like 12 frames here. And this is pretty slow. Might be a little too much up on the head here. So I'll go ahead and bring that. I'm going to stay pretty consistent, just have that little bit of breathing movement throughout. Okay. And we'll go back here. And this will be 12s, right? Okay. So I'll go ahead and bring that down. And then back up again. Down. we'll do less of it. I just don't like how it's bending. It bends at kind of a weird angle. Should probably be right at that tip of that fin rather than right behind it, I feel like. So we'll just do less of it there. Still want that feeling in there, but I feel like it doesn't give us that clean line there that we want. Okay, and let's go and save our file again, and let's switch back to our initial camera, and let's go and look at them. See, now it's got kind of a breathing feeling in there. Okay, and let's go back to where we were before, and let's get this tail going back and forth here as well. Two, one, two, one, two, one, two. So let's see here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and grab this guy, and we'll move him starting at 6 here. And then we'll go 12 to the other side, and back again, back that way, back there, still be on 12s, 90, and then back again. Okay, we gotta clean up that movement a bit more. And I think we might even flip it to the other way around. We'll have to see. And we gotta figure out how much of this we want, because I do want the tail to feel like it's whipping a little bit more. That's why we're doing double. This is pretty much every 12 instead of every 24, kind of like everything else. Okay, and then let's go ahead and grab this portion of the tail. We'll go back to 12 here. There. You can tell that don't really have to do any real math when I get to keeping it on normal 12s. Okay, I feel like that's wrong, so let's go ahead and look at it in perspective. Yeah, it should be the other way around. so we're kind of favoring one side there. Let that be balanced between which side it's hitting. Let's do a little bit more here as well. And let's also even it out. Okay, let's go look at that now. It feels pretty good. And let's turn the layers back on. Kind of look at that now. Maybe a little less up and down in the head. I feel like that's a little bit too much, and then we need to still do the, at least the down. Keep a little more focused forward rather than dip down. Let's see here. We need to do a little bit less here. No, I think that's working. Let's just minimize it here. Okay. A little bit less up and down the head. Okay, and let's look at, let's go ahead and save our file. I feel like it's coming along here. And let's go back to this perspective. Let's do a little bit on the fins here. I feel like the front fins, we can do them, let's do like every 18 frames. F36. And then what do we got? 54. And then 8, 62, 72. 80. We got 90. I'll go back again. Let's go and see. This is just a different timing on those guys as well. Can almost even be less there as well. Feel too fast. I want those to feel slower. Yes, we can do it every 22. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back again. And just keep it where it is. It feels fine. There we go. Nice and slow. Okay, and then let's take the tips and put them on 11. Okay, and I think we gotta switch the other side. still feels like it's just too much, so let's scale it back here, scale it back there. Maybe we'll just do less on these arms as well. Or fins, whatever. Okay, and let's go and look through our original. I think I'm going to take what I have here and I'm going to delay it about 22 frames. So it really hit. Okay. I want those to be back further. When I hit here, be something akin to there. That feels good. Okay, and now let's look at the inner parts of the arms, and let's figure out how those work in this camera here. Let's see there. Feels pretty good. Okay, and let's do a little bit of rotate X there, down, up, down, up, and back again. Let's keep that. Just so I get a little bit of up and down in there. That feels better. And I think I'll just do a little bit of up and down on these guys. So I think we'll go every 20 on these ones. And let's go down, up, and down, and up, and down again. Again, this way we're keeping stuff on different timing, so everything's not hitting all the same way. And let's switch back to the other panel here. again. And again, we'll take this side and invert it. So we're not getting just side to side, but we're actually getting like up and down, really, between the two. Let's go into it. Maybe a little less overall. Let's balance it out a little more. So I'll take here, there, bring that out, bring that down. Again. There. And there. Okay. And let's go save our file. That's coming along pretty well. And let's go. Where are we? Okay. Let's do a little bit of side to side here. I'll translate X there. Actually, let's go this way. 48, go that way. 72, that way. 86 back again. Again, I think I just want to do a little bit of this. We don't need a lot. Just so we get a little bit of that kind of slither swim feeling in there. Let's go look at that. Okay, now let's go ahead and grab these guys. Go that way, and that way one's hitting and 12 frames later the other one's hitting. Back again. There we go. Okay, and let's again minimize that quite a bit. Don't want a lot of that, but I want a little bit of that kind of sway in there. And let's go look at it now. Okay, and now that we've got that working, let's look at it from an actual angle. We'll see if it's too much or too little. Yeah, feels good. It's just a little bit in there. Okay, and let's go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Y here. There, and back again. So you get the head kind of leading as the body swaying side to side there. Let's go and look at that now. And just to make sure it's working the right way, let's go and look at it here. Actually, it should be looking the other way, so it's going, leading the movement. Because the head should be pointing towards the way the body's going to lean. So it's leaned that way, then it will lean that way. Okay. Now it's like the head to lead the movement. Okay, let's go ahead and look at it from where we are again. Okay, aside from doing a little bit on the fin, I think we're doing pretty good. Rotate Z there. Rotate Z there. Go the other way. And a little back. Just a little bit of tilt on that fin there, just so we get some movement through that as well. Let's go and look at that for frame. Okay, let's exaggerate it a bit more. Let's see. Actually, I think we need a little more on the base now. Maybe we'll even add a little bit of rotate Y there. Just add a little bit of tilt and twist to it. Bring it back up again. Okay, let's go ahead and look at that now. Let's try to land this about 2 more frames too. I feel like we need to exaggerate this one a little bit more. I know it's the same as the others, but I feel like it's not getting felt enough. So let's see. Let's see with this one. Okay, and let's go and pull that back a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our nerve curves off here. And let's go and see that. Yeah, I feel like that works out pretty well. So let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at Gerald Scarfe, and it's probably more like Gerald Scarfe. So let me know in the comments below if I'm mispronouncing that, because I'm sure I am. I think that an artist is a bit like a computer. He receives information from the world around him and from his past and from his own experiences, and it all goes into the brain. And I think that's really key and important as you're learning, as you're growing, just like me. But chances are you're probably like 400 steps ahead of me on your journey, because you guys are totally smart and awesome, and I love you lots. But it's important to watch what you consume and make sure that you're trying to put in as much good stuff in there as you can, so that you have that good group of, if it's animation, watch good animated films all the time. And that doesn't mean that you can't help people who aren't as far as you. You know, that's definitely important, and that helps develop your eye and see where, you know, other people are struggling, and maybe you can help yourself there as well, and just to be helpful, so that there's always a group of new ideas and new people joining the community as well. But it is important to make sure that you're always trying to put in good information and good ideas in there, so that when it gets down to that time where you have to do it basically on command, you know, that it's your time to get your work done, that you have that flood of information that you can pull from, that's all strong information, so that you can put that into your work even subconsciously. So that being said, thanks again for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing. You guys are amazing, I love you tons, and I'm so happy and so encouraged with all the subscribers and everything, and I hope that you guys are learning something, or at least getting motivated and inspired by doing this stuff with me every day. I love you lots. Like always, if you have any comments, questions, critiques, concerns, ideas, thoughts, you want to share your amazing stuff you guys are creating, the comments are all open for you. Happy to at least give you a thumbs up or tell you you're awesome as always. So that being said, I guess that'll do it for today. So we'll see you for some more animation tomorrow.